CQ RAYNET. This is Golf 4 November Romeo Charlie, operated today by Greg, Golf 0 Delta Uniform Bravo, serving as net control for the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net. This net meets each Sunday afternoon at 1600 hours local time and is open to all amateur radio operators interested in emergency communications. The primary purpose of this net is to provide the opportunity for members to test equipment, exchange traffic news, opinions and information. And if the website was up, I would say you could find some additional information at the RAYNET-UK website on www.raynet-uk.net. This is a directed net, which means all calls are to be made to the net control station unless you are instructed otherwise, and all RAYNET-UK operators are invited and encouraged to check into the net. When you do check in, please announce your call sign slowly and phonetically, followed by your name. And if you wish to leave the net immediately after checking in, then please call in and out. Otherwise, if you want to leave after subsequent turns, please make it clear you want to check out at that time. So, after I've heard a few check-ins, I'll pause, repeat what I've heard, and if you're not acknowledged, then please do try again. And I will call for any strays, that's people who've missed their turn to call in at the end of the UK and international sections. So as usual, I'll start taking check-ins to the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net in call sign number order. So any stations with figure 9 in their call sign, please call now. This is G4NRC.
For ARC net control, very good RCNC, this is Mike 9 Tango Golf Echo. Turkey Tango Oscar Bravo Yankee. That's net control.
Nine Tango Golf Echo, good afternoon Toby. Any other 9s please? G4NRC over. G4NRC, nothing heard, so that's an 8. Stations figure 8 in their call sign, please go ahead over.
Golf 8 Echo Yankee, G8 EY, name is Mike.
Echo Yankee, good afternoon Mike. Any other 8s please? G4NRC over. NRC, no more 8s, so let's have 7. Stations figure 7 in their call sign, please go ahead. G4NRC over.
Golf 7 November Echo Hotel G798. Good afternoon, Greg.
G798, good afternoon Graham. Any other 7s please? G4NRC over. RNRC, no more 7s, let's have 6s. Stations figure 6 in their call sign, please go ahead over.
Good afternoon, this is Golf 6 Papa Delta Echo, Chris in Ipswich. In now please, Greg.
Six Papa Delta Echo, good afternoon Chris, and copy to you in and out. Any other 6s please? G4NRC over. RNRC, nothing heard, so let's have 5. Stations figure 5 in their call sign, please go ahead over. G4NRC, we don't have many 5s in the organisation, so we'll jump straight to 4. Stations figure 4 in their call sign, please go ahead over.
Golf for 4 Kilo India Lima, Philip, South Sussex.
Alpha Kilo Uniform Juliet. 4 Hotel Uniform Foxtrot Phil.
So far I've got Philip, Golf 4 Kilo India Lima, Trevor, Golf 4 Kilo Uniform Juliet, and Phil, Golf 4 Hotel Uniform Foxtrot. Any other 4s, please, over? Chief for NRC, nothing heard, so let's have 3s. Stations figure 3 in their call sign, please go ahead, over.
Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-Ray, Ian. In and out, but I'll listen to the end. Over.
NRC, good afternoon, Ian. Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-Ray, who's in and out? Any other 3s, please? Chief for NRC, over. For NRC, nothing heard, so let's have 2s. Stations figure 2 in their call sign, including you intermediate 2s. Please call now. Chief for NRC, over.
Echo 0 Charlie Mike Sierra, calling from Midway, in and out, please, Greg.
Echo 0 Charlie Mike Sierra, good afternoon, Colin. Copied you in and out, 7-3s to you. Any other 2s, please, including intermediate 2s? Please call now. Chief for NRC, over. Chief for NRC, nothing heard, so let's have 1s. Stations figure 1 in their call sign, please go ahead. Chief for NRC, over. Call any stations figure 1 in their call sign, please go ahead, over. For NRC, nothing heard. Let's have Mike 0 stations of any regional secondary identifier, please, over.
Mike 0 Juliet Sierra Alpha, Alan, East Suffolk.
Mike and the 0 Mike Sierra Oscar Philip, Northern Ireland.
For NRC, so I've got Alan, Mike 0 Juliet Sierra Alpha, and Philip, Mike India 0 Mike Sierra Oscar. Any other Mike 0 stations of any regional secondary identifier, please, over.
0 Golf Uniform Yankee, in and out, please, Greg.
Zero Golf Uniform Yankee, good afternoon, Guy, and copy to you in and out. Okay, let's have Golf 0 stations of any regional secondary identifier, please, over.
Golf Whiskey 0 Juliet Lima X-Ray. Good afternoon, Greg. Name is Andy. RAYNET Pembrokeshire. No traffic today, so in and out, please. Over.
Golf Whiskey 0 Juliet Lima X-Ray. Good afternoon, Andy. Apologies I didn't get a chance to talk to you longer last week, but copy to you is in and out. So we'll do my usual shortcuts. Any UK stations who've missed their turn to call in that wish to do so, please call now. G4NRC, over. NRC, then do we have any international liaison stations on the talk groups today? That's usually Arin in Ireland, Nord-Samband of Norway, Aries in Slovakia, or Bears in the Netherlands. Any of our international colleagues, please? G4NRC, over.
Lima Alpha 6 in the Mike, name is Hans. Have a nice afternoon, Greg. And that's in the note.
Lima Alpha 6 in the Mike. Good afternoon, Hans. Copied you in and out, and good to hear you again. Okay, do we have any UK or international stations who've missed their turn to call in wish to do so? Please call now. G4NRC, over.
Golf 8 Sierra Delta Uniform, name's Bob. Just in and out, please, Greg.
Eight Sierra Delta Uniform. Acknowledge Bob, copied you in and out. Good to hear you, 7-3s. Okay, good afternoon everybody. Graham G7NEH is live streaming the net to YouTube today. Past live streams and recordings are available by searching G7NEH, that's Golf 7 November Echo Hotel on YouTube. And please hit the like and subscribe buttons or any of the other links he's got to let him know the service is appreciated for capturing these nets for posterity. Amazon and Microsoft cloud service outages over the last couple of weeks have highlighted how the cloud isn't quite as decentralized as people think it is. The dependency on those services by other providers, including smart beds of all things, should make us all think whether we have adequate resilience against single providers or points of failure. Apologies for the net of last weekend's AGM being ad hoc rather than formal. I just got a little bit too busy with the AGM and the streaming of it itself, but the streaming of the AGM went as well as could probably be expected given the limited bandwidth available from the venue using both DSL and 5G mobile links. But it was the room audio that proved difficult to try and resolve on the fly, given the latency between what I was hearing in the room and what I was getting back on a monitor link from Zoom. As always, it's a learning experience. Finally, though, an observation that Starlink are requiring that dormant kit gets energized to pick up software updates, even if there is no active account. All the gear will be bricked. That is rendered useless. This raises a question from the technology survey run around groups many years ago, asking how often facilities got tested. The response from some groups that kits may only get checked annually raised a few eyebrows, but realistically, how often should you use equipment to have faith that it'll be there when it's needed? So, with that short, sharp shot, let's see what thoughts it's triggered from everybody this week, starting with Toby. Mike 9, Tango Golf Echo, G4 and RC, over. Mike 9, Tango Golf Echo, M90 GE, Toby, G4 and RC, over. Nine Tango Golf Echo G4 and RC. Toby, I saw a quick blip up from you on the Brandmeister side. It didn't make it through to the RAYNET server. Try again, over. G4 and RC. Looks like Toby's got issues as the bridge seems to be working in one direction at least. Mike, you get to be first again. Golf 8 Echo Echo Yankee, G4 and RC, over.
G4 and RC from G8 EY. Oh, goody goody. No time to think then. Well, I've had a little think, but good afternoon all. Good afternoon, Greg. 10 degrees centigrade here in Norfolk. 1008 millibars. which is a bit lower than it has been over the last previous weeks, but 81% relative humidity, 2% cloud cover, so it's quite sunny. Looks out window. No, it's not. Yep. I tend to think that if you can't check things at least once a month, or better than that if you can, and I always remember that the pay-as-you-go mobiles, quite often they would get turned off if you didn't use them at least once every 6 months, which is always a bit of an irritation. Yeah, it's a bit worrying. And don't forget, there's a com meeting on Thursday on our favourite subject. From G8 EEY.
Golf 8 Echo Echo Yankee G4NRC. Okay, yes, monthly was something I picked up from another source. It's interesting quite how many people will be made aware of some of these facilities that will naturally time out or fail if you don't do something with them. I had forgotten about the pay-as-you-go mobiles, but I do remember some of the other phone diversion services that if they didn't get a call every few weeks at least, then the number would get reallocated to somebody else, which is why for my backup Wi-Fi to mobile network solution SMS card, I forgot the name of the card now, I actually pay a monthly fee for it, so at least I know it won't die. Okay, thanks for that, Mike. Let's go to Graham, G798, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, G798. Yeah, good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon to all on the net. Not a lot to report this week. So, viewing figures last week were not that high, as it was an ad hoc net. It was about 19 views in total for the week. So not up to our usual standard. Again, not a lot to add from this end. Not done much radio this week. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, count me out on the next round, please, Greg. But obviously, I'll continue listening and streaming until the end. G4NRC, G7NH.
G7NH, G4NRC returning. Okay, thanks, Graham, and thanks for streaming the ad hoc net last week and minding the store a bit last minute. Again, my apologies for that. I have found out from some of the conversations over the last 7 days, we do seem to have a definite cadre of viewers who know the net exists and will watch it solely on the live stream and not actually take part in the net itself. So our reach is easily expanded courtesy of what you're doing, and just figuring out a way we can measure it without people cheating and trying to inflate or fiddle the system. But there's a different challenge for another day, because it will be interesting. Anyway, thanks for doing the streaming, and hopefully, well, I've got a lot of nights of RAYNET this week, so I'll have to let you know what's going on. And next to Philip, again, didn't have much time to talk to you last week, Philip, either, my apologies. G4KIL, G4NRC, over.
Yeah, G4NRC, G4KL. Oh, I need to apologise. You're obviously very busy, and at least we were able to wave a reasonable distance, as it were. Yeah, it was nice to get to the AGM. Nice to meet you people. I thought there were some useful discussions, both the formal ones and the informal ones. Apologies for not making the HF notes yesterday. I kind of hoped to be able to make it, but got a bit busy in the end. Unfortunately, not likely to make it for this next month, for the rest of this month, because there'll be Fridays, and the I'm a bit busy Fridays. And I'm just trying to work out what was going to happen in December. I think it will be, is it the first one on a Monday and the rest on Sundays, I think, isn't it? That might work out better. I'll just see how it goes. I'll leave that for a moment. G4NRC, G4KIL.
G4KIL, G4NRC returning. Okay, yeah, noted on the HF net earlier on, well, not sorry, yesterday. Where did that go? Afternoon net turned into a bit of a West Cheshire net, so we were on 40 metres, and between Mike, I'm on DDN, and one of our other members who's just swapped his call sign courtesy of the new rules, so I can only remember M0KEN, but no, he's got a G3 call sign now. So we had rather a localised net, but it did work, and it was definitely NVIS, and other than a bit of contest activity, it was quite doable. So just wondering whether or not there were other people participating, but doing it on a different band, thinking 40 metres would be closed. Yes, noted you're not going to be likely around for the remainder of the month, but this is the way of rotating the nets around days, avoids people always being disadvantaged. So a little and often. Okay, I'll come back to some other matters I think on the next round, and we'll go to Trevor, G4KUJ, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, G4KUJ. Replying, good afternoon, Greg and everybody else. Did listening on to, looking and listening to the AGM last week, which was able to see everything and hear everything. Although the video, the audio from the floor was a bit weak, but if you wound the volume up, it was fine. Mainly been two things this week: playing with HF on particularly 20 metres to see how propagation is going to Europe with both JS8 call and WinLink, and had 1 or 2 days where WinLink to Switzerland has been excellent, and other days where it hasn't been there at all, and the highest frequency I could get in on was 30 metres, 10 megs. All my radio activity onto one computer rather than two, and I can sort of DMR, Harden, WinLink, so that's great. To Philip, noticed that MI0NIR is up as a supernode, which is accessible from me via G7, EI5, FNB, and M0LSS. When that supernode is working, it's been a bit a wire link, or if you like a wire link to my tunnel gateway. That offer's still open for that. So back to you, Greg, G4NRC, G4KUJ.
For Kilo Uniform Juliet, G4NRC returning. Okay, Trevor, very frequent audio drops on your transmission, going out the blaze of digital glory every time. Did type it into the log, but then when I thought it was a battery failure, as if your battery was about to time out, you actually lasted a bit longer, so it doesn't feel like it was that at all. However, copied that you were okay with the AGM last week, except the audio from the floor. Yeah, my challenge was to swap microphones from the lavalier that was on Cathy for most of the talking to a mic facing the floor, and people were just responding a little bit too fast, and it was a bit quick for me to chop and change between the microphones to pick up the best audio for each. With hindsight, or with an increased noise level, depending on your point of view, Could have tried mixing the two mics together, but that, as they say, is part of the learning experience. HF propagation this week has been quite variable, agreed, and I think some of it's down to some solar activity, but not done a hard comparison yet. But things started to get a bit messy when you talked about Mike India 0, Mike Sierra Romeo as a super node, but then offering an Arden link to Philip, Mike India 0, Mike Sierra Oscar. So whether I miscopied call signs or you're going to have to clarify it on the next round. Okay, Phil, so what's going on with you, and how's the new toy? G4HUF, G4NRC, over.
Is G4HUF. Sorry, how's the new what, over?
New toy you got from the National Hamfest, over.
This is G4HUF. Well, we've had a little bit of a play with it, and it does work, which is the important thing. And 3 weeks ago, when it was the last time that we were feeding the boys, after they fed, the post-dinner entertainment or cabaret was to put said item on the table and let them have an explore and a play. So from that point of view, it went down well. They were definitely kept entertained for at least 5 minutes, but it was more like half an hour in that regard. So that's good. It's been stowed away at the moment, because if I had it out, I'd be playing with everything and not getting anything else done around the place, which would not go down well. So it's been put away and hopefully kept out of temptation, or kept away from me, whichever way you want to look at it. So I'm happy with it, let's put it that way. And shall we say, the boys were impressed. So on that basis, it was worthwhile getting, even for that point of view. As far as the weather's concerned here, I'll just have a quick listen on Manchester 80s, which is only just down the road from us. We got 13 knot winds coming in from 240 degrees, temperature 10 degrees, and pressure is 1007. So it's not as warm as it could be, although the forecast was implying at lunchtime that it was going to get a bit warmer as we went through the week. As far as the website is concerned, being down, that's not an issue for me or anybody in Dane Valley at the moment, because our new cards are in transit, and consequently we can't access the website without those, as our membership expired 2 days ago with the existing cards. So as long as they get it up and running tomorrow, it means that I can access the website, and the others will just have to be a little bit patient while I organise distribution of the cards. So that's it from this end. I can't think of anything else intelligent to include on a radio stroke RAYNET basis. So I shall shut up, and I'll sign out on this one, Greg. This is G4HUF.
G4HUF, G4NRC returning. Okay, I'll come over at 7:03 and enjoy this afternoon's dinner. Before you go, when you do get your access back, my workaround for the password equals membership card possession was to set a personal password. I don't think that was something specific to me. I thought lots of people could do it. So it'd be worth you having a look at that, and then you would have continuity of access when required without depending on seeing what your latest membership number is, etc. Glad everybody enjoyed the new toy though, and maybe I should use this as my reminder that my slightly cheaper test gear does have batteries in it and needs to be charged up, so it might function. It would function a lot better if it wasn't trying to charge the battery at the same time. Okay, thanks Phil, 732. We've got 2 left on this round, and the next one is Alan. Mike 0 Juliet Sierra Alpha, G4 and RC, over.
Hey, good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon, everybody. You beat me to the password. Yeah, I've set a personal password, and that's not a problem. You took the site is down, it seems. I don't know why. Perhaps you can explain why the website is gone, because certainly Ian G0 OZS was one of them that had gone. Into pay as you go. Yes, they normally tell offers take all the money as well if you don't use it very often. But apparently, a paid usage, which is a call in or a call out, keeps it alive, which is what I use on mine. My standby phone. Other than that, not much else to report. I haven't been able to do any radio for other domestic reasons. I haven't been able to get on the HF Next. I tried and that was just hopeless a few weeks ago. So nothing much else to report. We've got our first duty phrases this coming Sunday, which is Remembrance Sunday, so I can't do it because I've got to be at church. So it's all quiet in East Suffolk. Nothing else much to report other than that, so I'll listen to the end, but don't call me back unless you need to speak to me. Back to you, G4NRC and 0 JSA.
It's Sierra Alpha G4 and RC returning. Okay, yes, I'd forgotten how you could always lose money on things if you didn't test them frequently as well. That was always a bit of a strange one where receiving a call, I think, only put a penny in the account of the recipient of the call. But I suppose they'll show it was alive. That website is currently down because of a continuing issue we're having with Microsoft support. So I imagine the support phone line will be burning again tomorrow as we deal with Karen from accounts. I think that's probably the easiest summary of it. Nothing technically wrong with the site, it's down to Microsoft support. And there was the illusion that Mike EUI said earlier that we're having a extra com meeting on the 6th to deal with nothing but IT issues. So, enjoy the rest of your week, Alan. Noted about the HF net. It was actually quite good yesterday. Propagation was on our sides. My weekend activity, which brings in a couple of the themes, was I tried working the 144 megahertz CW contest this weekend with a very, very old radio, which was, I made one whole contact, heard a French station from all the way up here in Chester, which was not that bad, but couldn't actually call him back when I heard him again today because the radio has a bit of a feature that it needs to be powered on for at least an hour before it'll give you any control. Hence you could see why I'd had the theme of testing things frequently to see they were working. Okay, 732 Alan and Philip, Mike India 0, Mike Sierra Oscar gets an early apology because I could see you were trying to talk to the AGM from where you were located, which I will not say out loud, but because of the way the streaming was done, it wasn't really made clear it was one-way streaming. Mike India 0, Mike Sierra Oscar, G4 and RC, over.
Good afternoon, Craig, and everybody else in the net. Yes, I wasn't aware it was one-way streaming, but well, we can learn for future. Maybe you need to get a couple of guys over from GI that done it last year, show you how it's done. I jest. No, but it was good to get it. It was good to get it anyway. But difficult circumstances, and it's quite busy last week. The general manager of our SCB over and I was dropping him off at the airport, so I had to quickly try and get on the AGM then. It would have been nice to see the talks beforehand, especially the one beyond 365, which I have some interest in, and some interest that he's going to have a meeting about IT issues. I will not say on air anything more about that, but you send emails offering your services, and that's as far as it went. That's all I'll say. You can read between the lines, Craig, or speak to Anna. So, yes, testing equipment. Yes, it's a good idea to test it regular. We don't always have events running every month, so over here we have committed since September to do something every month from a data perspective, because we're going to push forward big time with our data. We have a data play day next Saturday, and I will be getting the Starlink out again and just letting it do its updates and whatnot. It's sitting on standby mode at the minute, which is very good. We have no actual real events until December again, but you never know when that phone call could come with the weather we have, so it is good to test your gear, your RF gear and the data gear. So yes, Trevor was right. We do have our supernode up and running here in GI now, and it is NI0 NIR for Northern Ireland RAYNET. That's where you probably got confused with the call signs, Greg. So it's NI0 NIR, and I have it linked to a supernode in EI, and one supernode over in the UK. I did ask about another link, but I haven't had no reply yet from Kevin T0UDT. Right, okay, coming up on 180 seconds here, so I'll hand it back to you for the next round. Great.
Mike India 0, Mike Sierra Oscar G4 and RC. Yeah, the streaming kind of depended on me getting down from Chester after being at a gig the night before. So even though with the clock change, there wasn't much chance of me getting down there for the, whatever it was, 10:30 start, and getting everything set up in 30 seconds notice. So, yeah, it was what it was. I could see you on the monitor screen I've got, and your location, which was how you weren't able to get in, really, because people who were on the chat by other means were able to type their questions in, which was what I was relaying. Yes, reading between the lines, I think I can guess where your offer of help went, and that I'm sure will be another topic for Thursday. But the monthly activities, yes, well, this is back to how groups have different routines, I suppose. So for West Cheshire, we have nets twice a month, with one always being on 2 meters, but the other one now including 2 meters sideband, along with 4 meters and APRS on a rotation on a quarterly basis, just to get people away from 2 meters for everything. And the HF, of course, is every week. So there's definitely a bell curve of those who test very frequently and those who don't. But a month is probably the sweet spot for a lot of groups. Okay, thanks for that. Just noticed we had up to 77 connected peers at one point, so we are losing some people because it's down to 75 now. Go back to the top of the list for any more comments and finals and anything I've forgotten to tell anybody on the way through. Mike 9, Tango Golf Echo, M9 TGE, Toby, wonder if we're working any better now from G4 and RC, over. TGE, G4 and RC, over. Or an RC, okay, nothing heard. So we've got an ongoing set of questions with Toby because we do have very strong signals from him, and then it's nothing after the first call, so I don't know what's going on. Mike, Golf Echo Echo Yankee, round to you, G4 and RC, over.
G4 NRC from G8 EEY. Yes, as an ex-broadcast engineer, I can say you did very well with very little time there at the AGM. I didn't have any problems here listening and streaming. And surprisingly, as we always found out on outside broadcast, sound is always the most difficult part. You think it'd be the simplest, but it's the most difficult. Yeah, it looks like the local weather here is certainly flatlining at 13 to 15 centigrade from mid-Monday to mid-Thursday this week. I changed my password to a personal very early on, saved having to think about membership numbers and things. And the biggest problem I found with pay-as-you-go phones is we've got one at Wyndham Police Headquarters, and the supplier said basically it has to be a dial out from the phone to keep it alive, and it takes about a fortnight to get access to the location there at the police headquarters, so not so easy. We'll have to replace that phone system sometime. Otherwise, thanks for running the net, Greg, and see you Thursday night from G8 EEY.
Go Yankee, Chief for NRC returning. Okay, thanks for that, Mike. Yeah, I had got almost the kitchen sink. Had got fond hopes of having a little bullet microphone facing towards the main room, but that chose the trip down from Chester to Bristol to decide it wasn't going to work, despite having done so in the couple of days beforehand, where I tried to do a rehearsal test. So, as I said, all learning, and I just couldn't find the time to play with doing any kind of audio mix. But it was an evolution of what I'd done for IAIU meetings, where it was just one webcam, one microphone, and me. So was a bit better. So thanks for that. And yes, see you Thursday. I'll be putting my comments onto the mailing list later when I clear some other backlogs. So send threes to you. Philip G4KIL, yes, also noting that comment about how often we test things. I'm wondering whether to nudge the HF net with, should we actually try doing a mode change and actually say we'll do voice and digital on each week as part of a fallback system, but I suspect that might be a bridge too far for some. G4KIL, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, G4KIL. Well, interesting thought. I think it needs more thought from my point of view. Yes, well, I suppose if I knew it was happening then I'd probably be reasonably prepared for it. The other thing I did wonder, which is a suggestion, but not one that I can really support directly very much, since I don't have JS8 on all the time, but I know one or two people do, that whether we could just try experimenting, sort of sending messages that were not in real time, as it were, and using the facility of holding messages a bit more. That would mean that we weren't limited quite so much for everybody on at the same time. There's just a thought. Well, I'll leave it at that one for this week. Thanks on the net, and hopefully be up again next week. G4NRC, G4KL.
G4NRC returning. Okay, yes, that thought process of mixing modes purely comes out of some stuff I've been doing and have shared with Trevor about asking AIs silly questions. And it came up with that without any provocation, and I thought, it again invokes a memory of a question asked many years ago of how quickly could you get on data when computers used to take a lot longer to boot up and systems to make live. I would not routinely leave the main HF set running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but the true SDX transceiver, being significantly cheaper, albeit 5 watts low power, might be more of an option for that. So yeah, open to play with that one, especially when I'm not trying to play with said radio portable so often. So okay, fine, noted, and I shall let those thoughts permeate through for the rest of the week, and we'll see what happens, Philip. Anyway, 7-3s to you, and the comment to Trevor, other than hoping audio stays solid for this over, is that my Arden node is down. I swapped to the AR300 to be the gateway, set it up, plugged it into the 5-volt power supply available, and between that and a Pi, it crunched the supply. So at some point in the next 24 hours, I'm hoping to route through some of the many boxes here and find another micro USB supply to bring the AR300 up and get the gateway back up again, and see if it gets any more stable. Have discovered though that newer AR300s do not like being flashed with Arden firmware. The process has changed. It is not one that is easy to follow. You have to go through a different interface to flash the Arden firmware onto it. So it has been an interesting sort of 24 to 48 hours, and at times up to 2 bricked AR300s going through various states of restoration. G4KUJ, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, G4KUJ. Right, keep an eye on the dashboard this time to make sure I don't drop out. Yeah, okay about the 300s, yes, the newer ones. The process is more complicated, but I've found that in general, if you follow the instructions, it works. And I look forward to you popping on again. I saw that you dropped off about sometime yesterday. Yeah, testing equipment. I test most of mine sort of during the week. Everything gets a little bit of a test. And Philip's comments on JS8 call. Yes, I'm up for that. I quite often have JS8 calls operating on 40 and just leave it running for quite a few hours in the day. So we're quite happy to try that. And certainly changing modes at my end from voice to data is very easy with the TS590SG, because all the data goes in on the back socket from the computer, and audio goes and speech goes in from the mic at the front, and depending on which one you push the PTT on, it just changes from voice to data on the spot. So that's good. And consider connecting. Is that me dropping out again? Might like to consider a super node. And in Bigfoot is a RAYNET. I saw what's happening today. Yeah. The link to Drew in video. Not sure what's happening. Back to you, Greg, from G4KUJ.
G4KUJ, G4NRC returning. Okay, we've got everything up to consider what I think it was considered a RAYNET supernode. But then your audio dropped out and it started to hit increasing frequency of dropout, which makes me think it's a battery issue, Trevor. But I'm not too sure about that. I know I put this radio on earlier and thought, oh look, it's full battery. And then with 3 minutes before the net had a look and it had dropped off the absolutely full down to 2/3. So I take that as a sign and rapidly swapped to the one that's fully charged and left here on reserve, because I never start a net without an absolutely full battery. So yes, it'd be worth having a look at that maybe, and we can always hold over the other stuff about supernodes for next week. Mode changes would be a bit slower for me because I have to wait for the Pi to boot up. And at the moment, the power supply for the Pi, it's not an excluded combination with HF operation, but when I turn the Pi on, the noise level on the HF goes up. And I think it's a power supply rather than a Pi issue. So when the shack gets broken down and rebuilt through some point this month, I'm going to have to try and fix that permanently, hopefully, and see what I can make work. Right, the net this week finishes with Philip, Mike India 0, Mike Sierra Oscar. Any finals from you, Philip? MI0 MSO G4 and RC over.
G4 NRC, MI0 MSO. No finals. Just that's very interested in what Trevor had to say about super nodes and nodes and whatnot. So I have sent him an email, so he can reply that way, because every time he went to speak about it, the audio just broke up terribly. But there you are. It is what it is. So just on that. For the super node, it's now a matter of getting the rest of the nodes and GI linked through it and building that network back up again on the new system with the wire yard and that. But that's it. Great. Good to hear the net back running again. I do look forward to it when I can get on it. So 7-3 for now.
Mike Sierra Oscar G4 and RC. With the sound of Boggs, which means daughters are home. Okay, well, Trevor will no doubt respond to your email. I will try and get things working again here so we can get a bit more of a practice going again as part of a operational support team action that is kicking around to play with data modes. And yes, we will prevail and use the darker winter nights to do some testing. Right, so next week's net should take place. I say should, will, but I do believe it's going to be a basketball game again. So while today was quite relaxed because of the game, next week could be held back to a 16:45 completion. So apologies for that in advance, but this is the way of the world. Actually, break that. It's not a basketball game, so we can have a nice long net again. Right, we shall bring it to a close. Thanks everybody for taking time out of your schedules to participate today. Be careful, have a good week, and until next Sunday afternoon at 1600 hours local time, I'll close the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net on talk groups 23531 on Pheonix and Brandmeister and 5023531 on the RAYNET-UK server, and return those talk groups to being an open net rather than a directed net. 7-3 all, this is G4 and RC now closing and reverting to my normal call sign of Golf 0, Delta Uniform Bravo. Bye bye.